Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live from Channels Television in Lagos. As Nigeria prepares to celebrate Democracy Day on May the 29th, which marks 2 years of the Buhari administration, it is a time for stock-taking. And up for evaluation today is the economy, where our business news editor, Bosin Omofaye, looks at the microeconomy relating to business, the private sector, and enterprises.
May 29, 2016. His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR.
The economic misfortune we are experiencing in the shape of very low oil prices has provided us with an opportunity to restructure our economy and diversify.
President Buhari's first anniversary speech may be described as the most direct, frank and pointed. He described all the elements of the economy he inherited, what he and his team have done in the first 12 months, and what he plans to do moving forward. Today, 1 year after and halfway into his 4-year tenure, President Buhari and his administration face a population that strongly believes that the economy is hurting more than ever before.
We've seen an economy that has contracted over time. So that means, and we've also seen an economy that has suffered high rate of inflation. High rate of inflation means that the purchasing power of your income has been eroded. So in terms of wealth creation, we've seen the wealth of Nigerians eroded over the past 2 years.
But President Buhari had never shied away from the most daunting socio-economic problems his administration is confronting. He called it the spine of the Nigerian state. On a macroeconomic level, the administration is laying claim to some progress in the past 2 years, which include fiscal reforms, transparency and efficiency in fiscal administration, and accountability.
Now that macroeconomic conditions are a lot more stable and a lot more favourable, and with the sort of momentum that this administration will bring, we've raised the capital. A lot of the things that were seen to have been difficult, we've been able to do. We've come back to the international capital markets. They've embraced Nigeria. They like what we're doing. They like the reforms. And now we just have to build on them.
These are some of the indices by which many Nigerians claim the Buhari's administration has failed to deliver the change they hoped for. The welfare index bridge yet to become visible to millions of Nigerians.
One of the biggest challenges of the common people today is the high cost of goods and services, which is eating into their real income and which is worsening poverty.
Despite all what the administration may claim, the microeconomy is yet in serious throes of high inflation, negative interest rate, and poor credit to the private sector, among other negatives.
The committee noted that the cost of capital interest rate in the economy remains high and not helpful to growth. The Monetary Policy Committee was, however, concerned that loosening will exacerbate inflationary pressures and worsen the gains so far achieved in the exchange rate of the naira. It was also convinced that loosening will further increase the negative real interest rate as the gap between the nominal interest rate and inflation widens.
So you have to look at agriculture, you have to look at manufacturing, and you have to look at telecommunications. I think those three, and trade, by the way, those three are the ones that determine what is going to happen to the economy, because they are directly linked to household consumption.
To achieve a 7%.
As the administration clocks 2 years, media aides at the presidency says it is unfair to assess its performance at midterm. But whether that assessment is officially sanctioned or not, millions of Nigerians will not forget the Buhari's administration in a hurry, as they see their income values and wealth erode, spending more on costlier goods and services, and walking the thin line between hope and hopelessness. Bosin Omofaye, Channels Business News.
To look at the economy in 2 years of the Buhari administration, we're being joined on the News at 10 by a senior lecturer at the Lagos Business School, Dr. Bongo Adi. Thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
Now, how do you rate the economy under the current administration?
Well, personally, I think there seems to be a divergence in terms of views about how the economy has performed over the past 2 years. Actually, it is just within this year that we started seeing some impact, some positive impact. But for the most part of the 2 years, the economy has been in very bad shape. A lot of people have lost their jobs. The cost of living has been very high, and even now the food inflation rate is still quite high. So the misery index has not, ameliorated. But I understand that the economy is, out of the doldrums. We seem to be on our way out of recession. And with the intervention that the CBN had sustained on the foreign exchange market over the past few months, we've seen also some kind of pressure, removed from that sector. So things are looking up a little bit. And then the manufacturing index, the purchasing managers index, is looking optimistic. So, we also know that the government has done a lot of things over the past 1 month, but the major problem is that the government started on a very slow pace. It took a long time before the key functionaries of the administration was constituted, and I think that has a lag effect. And so by the time they started implementing policies or coming out with policies, the recession had taken a toll on people. So now we're still, about to see the impact of some of those things that done, and it takes some lag. So currently, people are still feeling the pains of the recession and the hardship that's been imposed on the economy as a result of falling oil prices.
One of those things the government has done is to launch the Economic and Recovery Growth Plan. What do you think about it?
Yeah, there's never anything wrong with any plan. The problem with a plan is implementation. Like I've argued before, the two key, strategic infrastructure areas of focus for the government should be transportation and power. These two infrastructure assets are very crucial for the economy to really bounce back. We have not quite seen much happening in the power sector. There doesn't seem to be much improvement. People still complain. But let's see with the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, if it is implemented, then I think we will begin to see. But again, the real challenge is implementation.
Now, going forward now, your final thoughts on what this administration can do to make things better for Nigerians?
I think we need to rely on inflow of foreign direct investment. But before that can be done, the ease of doing business in Nigeria has to come down. So, for me, it's about the country doing everything possible to attract foreign direct investment into the economy. Because what we need right now is a structural transformation of our system.
Dr. Bongo Adi, it's a pleasure talking to you, the senior lecturer at the Lagos Business School. Thank you so much for coming on the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
The security matters now. The Katsina State chapter of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association is concerned that the increasing cases of cattle rustling is affecting their businesses. As part of measures to reverse this trend, the group has been meeting with some of the repentant rustlers to discuss ways of reducing this menace.
Members of the Katsina State chapter of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association at a meeting with some repentant cattle rustlers and herdsmen. The meeting is to review the implementation of the amnesty program and find a way to sustain the ongoing peace initiative in the state.
these agreements that have been reached should be followed with, various kinds of meetings, strategies to strengthen it, to maintain it, to sustain it. Peace dialogue should be followed very well to make sure it did not break up. I'm confident that this thing will continue, and with God on our side, we hope to achieve what we want in the near future. We will achieve at least 80 to 90%, difference in the security situation in the state as compared to previous years.
This program that we witnessed today is an initiative intended by the state government in order to sustain the ongoing peace initiative in the state. We have to be sitting together with those that are concerned to hear from them how the program has succeeded, and if there is any problem, listen to them, get the feedback of the successes, know if there is any problem we can address in order to sustain the peace initiative.
The guest lecturer advised Fulani herdsmen to understand the nature of life, embrace peace and enhance their interpersonal relations.
My message concerns imploring the Fulani especially to understand the nature of life, the importance of peace and sustaining peace, the importance of education, Islamic education as well as Western education, the importance of good interpersonal relationships between them and other people, and then the importance of enrolling their children and wards into schools, especially to gain education and to be able to survive as good citizens of society.
Holding discussions like this is seen as a good development, but the major step is to take proper action against the act of terrorism and violence.
With the prevailing economic recession in the country, many state governments are thinking out of the box. Akwa Ibom State is not left out, as the government has begun the construction of a coconut refinery to complement the plantation in the state. Governor Dom Emmanuel says the project will be completed in 18 months, and the initiative will help generate revenue for the state.
In line with his campaign promises, Governor Udom Emmanuel has taken concrete steps to diversify the state's economy and reduce dependence on crude oil as the country's major revenue earner, with the establishment of a coconut refinery to take advantage of the recently established coconut plantation in the state.
We are here to see the economy 30, 40, 50 years ahead of others. Today, I want to let you know that just a liter of coconut oil, what we are going to set up here is the cold refinery, not the hot one. The cold refinery refines crude coconut oil, and a liter of that is $6 a liter. I don't know if you translate that into naira, how much that will give you. So by the special grace of God, we don't need to talk too much today. We want to do a foundation laying of this coconut refinery. The contractors have promised us that they should complete this in 18 months.
The managing director of the construction company gave technical details of the project.
As you approved 11,000 hectares of plantation and about 2 million parts a day will be processed inside this factory.
The member representing the local government in the State House of Assembly promised the people's cooperation with the contractors.
On behalf of the good people of Buhari, state constituency, the local government, that because you love us and because you are in a haste to transform Buhari, we are going to give you our own support at every given point in time.
The project is expected to be completed in 18 months.
When the news at 10 returns, the Central Bank of Nigeria asks customers to seek clarification from banks when they have questionable charges. That's coming up on Business News. Join us again.